Hello, hello, and welcome to the show. You are listening to Positive Mindset for Entrepreneurs. This is the show where you discover how to grow your business quickly by training your brain and feeling good. Oh, yeah, we love that, don't we? I am your host, Dana Wilde, and if you want to leverage the power of mindset every day, I highly recommend that you see a workshop that I'm doing right now. Now, if you're seeing this on replay and it's aired a long time ago, this is not going to be available because I only do this workshop once a year. So if you are seeing this and hearing this relatively close to the release date, go to danawilde.com/workless and discover how to work less and make more. Yes, you can. You're going to love it. All right. So I'm really glad you're here. Today, we are going to talk about New Year's resolutions. I want to share some ideas for alternatives to New Year's resolutions. I'll tell you something about me. I love the new year. Like I just love it. Brain trainers know that we get a clean slate any day of the week that we want to, but there's something in the air at this time of year where everybody knows they can turn the page on the year and start a new year. And so, of course, over the many decades, who knows, maybe even hundreds and hundreds of years. I probably should have looked that up. Like if anybody knows when New Year's resolution started, I would love to know when that started. But we've been saying New Year's resolutions, and I want to give a shout out for this amazing time that we live in. I was thinking about when I was young and growing up, and every year people would either make New Year's resolutions or they would be, bah humbug about New Year's resolutions, but nobody really talked about alternatives. And I was thinking about it and thinking, isn't that kind of crazy that nobody, for decades and decades really didn't, or not in my circle anyway, talk about alternatives to the New Year resolution tradition? And really, with the advent of the internet, aren't we so lucky that we have this way to share so much information so rapidly, and it generates rapid growth for all of us? We share ideas, we build on ideas, and it generates rapid growth. So I just wanted to mention that and say, really, we should remember what a magical time we're living in to be able to have this kind of communication and this kind of rapid growth at our fingertips because of the community building aspect it's got, right? So yeah, let's get a woot woot for the internet. Yay, internet. The internet gets so much abuse. It's time that we actually give it a thumbs up once in a while, right? So over the years, I have collected many different ideas about alternatives to New Year's resolutions. And I thought I'm just going to put them all together, collect them all, and put them all into one list. So let's begin. I'm going to start with a couple of the more obvious ones that people have heard just to kind of get them out of the way. And I'm going to share the ones that I've tried or that I don't do and why, all of that good stuff. So the most famous alternative, probably, in my humble opinion, the most famous alternative to the New Year's resolution is the word of the year. It's caught on it for, I don't know, the last decade probably or so. I don't actually partake in this particular one. The idea is that you pick one word that represents your year. And even when I first heard about it, first of all, I just thought, man, I'm so, fickle and multi-passionate and ever-changing, and maybe a lot of entrepreneurs are, that I really just felt boxed in by picking one word for the whole year. And I didn't feel like it would stick with me. Now, that may not be you. And if that's a method that works for you, if you love the word of the year and it really helps you stay on track, absolutely do it. It's worthy of mention because so many people talk about it and it does benefit so many. So that's why I'm bringing it up now. One kind of alternative that I would use for this, and I've noticed for myself, and maybe you've noticed this too. Have you ever done reflection at the end of a year and you've looked back on the year and you can kind of see like, there was really a theme this year? There was a theme of what happened. If you have had that experience or you know what I'm talking about, please put a comment and be like, "Yes, I have seen that over the years. I've seen certain themes." So sometimes you might have a theme where you look back and you go, "This was really the theme of getting my website or my systems cleaned up," or "This was my, theme of family this year or health or whatever it is." And so if I were to dive into the word of the year concept, I would probably flesh it out into a full theme. So you could have a theme of, working less and making more, for example, since we just talked about that workshop, or a theme of getting your ducks in a row to get ready to explode, or a theme of exploding or stepping into your celebrity, or a theme of community for the year, or a theme of any area you want to focus on, like health or self care or whatever. So there's something to be said for it in that way. And I'm guessing that's probably how a lot of people use that word of the year. The other one that's also quite popular, and that's why I'm mentioning it so early on, is the Decorator Jar, and put your happy memories in the jar. And I can see why people love this one so much because, and I've done my own variations of this one, and it is fun. So imagine decorating a jar, making it really super pretty, and cutting up a bunch of little pieces of paper. And then on every time you have a milestone or a happy moment or something you're grateful for, or something good that happened, or something that made you smile, you write it on the piece of paper and you put it in the jar. So the idea, of course, is at the end of the year you empty out the jar, read all of the different exciting things that happened to you that year, fun things that happened. And, I think people have also expanded on this now. I haven't done this part where they will take like movie tickets or playbills from concerts, or, items, and put it in there with the pieces of paper too. So at the end of the year, you've got a jar filled with all sorts of goodies. Another variation on this one that I've heard that I thought sounded kind of cool, and this one I haven't tried, but it's in the back of my mind, and that is to get a bunch of those pretty colored polished stones, and to get a marker to write on them and write on a stone instead of writing on paper. So at the end of the year, you've got a whole nice, beautiful jar of stones. That would probably even be a keepsake that you would keep, and you could make a different one every year, right? So really a fun one because there's so many elements. It's so tactile. The years that I have done this, one of the challenges that I've had with this is I get really excited about it in the beginning, and I've got a lot of memories early, and then I kind of go through a time where I forget that it's there, and then I go, "Oh yeah, there's that jar." I should really write some stuff down, right? So be create a system if you can for keeping it top of mind if you do this one. I had something come on my radar recently about this jar idea with a twist. And it came up in a conversation, and I really like the idea. And that is when you're writing your wins down in the jar, like the third idea for this list is for this New Year's resolution alternative list, is you could also put future predictions on the list. So it might be like, hooray, I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube today. And then you might put future prediction, I'll hit 2,000 by so and so date or something. And just put your future predictions in there, not as, I mean, I guess they're kind of intentions, aren't they? But more just for fun. It's almost like a little game that at the end of the year, then you can look at the future predictions that were in the jar and go, oh, yeah, that was kind of fun. This one came true. This one didn't. What do you think of that one? If you like that idea, I just thought it just was such a clever, fun way to level up the jar idea. If you like that idea, say, yes, I love that idea. And if you can think of some ways you'd use it, I'd love to hear what ways you would use that. Here's a concept that I don't know, do people talk about this? I haven't heard anybody talk about this. That's why I'm bringing it up. But here's a concept for you for New Year's resolutions. How about instead of improving and being forever always looking at the ways that we could be better, what if we just loved ourselves like we are? What a concept. Isn't that a great novel idea? What if we just declared at the new year, I don't need resolutions because I am perfection, and just really owned that and stepped into it for the year. I see this as being like a year almost of self love, like spending every day looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, and then fill in your name. You know, when you look in a mirror and go, I love you, Dana, right in your eyes, you first few times you do that, you're like, whoa, that was weird, awkward, right? But you do get more and more comfortable with it. Imagine looking in the mirror and going, I am perfection, you know, for a year of just self-love. Write love letters to yourself. Spend the whole year saying, I don't need New Year's resolutions because I am perfection. I don't know why that one cracks me up, but I really do like it. I'm glad you like it too. That's awesome. Then number 5, do monthly resolutions instead of yearly resolutions. This one I would say I'll call it I live my life by it. I don't call them resolutions, but I do pick a monthly focus every month. Like this month, my focus is going to be this thing. So it's kind of a come hell or high water, this is getting done thing, or this is happening focus, right? So monthly resolutions are so much more easy, doable, and easier to consume and easier to wrap your head around. And it doesn't feel so big, like, oh, I'm making this declaration to change my life for the year. Instead, it's like, okay, I'm going to try this suit on for a month, see how I like it, see if it feels good, see if the tag rubs in the back or what I think of it, right? So monthly resolutions, you could even do quarterly if you wanted to. It wouldn't have to be monthly resolutions. Another super fun New Year's resolution alternative, and I've done this one and continue to add to it, is to create a bucket list. So, for those of you that are unfamiliar with that term, it is the things that you want to do before you kick the bucket, before you pass over into non physical. And the best way I've found to do this is I have Googled, you know, ideas for bucket lists and really looked at some ideas. And for me, I don't know if this will hold true for you, but I was kind of shocked at how many of them I really wasn't interested in. But the ones you do find on those lists, they're gems. And so now you've got your little bucket list. You can do it literally in a physical list. You can do it in a notepad. You can do it with pictures. You can create a database, however you want to do it. But creating a bucket list for me has been just such a way to really get out of my day-to-day routine and really open my mind to the possibilities. I sometimes can get just stuck in my day-to-day grind and not really be thinking bigger about all aspects of my life and all aspects of the world. And if you research a few good bucket lists, you'll be amazed at the variety that they come in. You know, they always have achievement focused bucket list things. They have adventure and travel bucket list things. And you really start looking at your life in a bigger way and what you really want for it, especially when you're narrowing it down from these bigger lists. So I like that one. Then there is number 7, the worldwide famous, internationally famous idea of doing a vision board. You know, there was a time when everybody was doing vision boards all the time, and every so often you hear people pop up and say, I've done a vision board, or I'm doing a vision board, and you can do them electronically or physically. My favorite way is to do them physically, and I'm going to give a shout out to Susan Ida Peterson, who taught me a method that is fantastic. What she always trained was that you would get a stack of magazines. You can go in the United States anyway to your local libraries, and libraries will always have giveaway magazines, and you can get a stack of magazines, or maybe you subscribe yourself. And she would recommend that you sit down and you don't have any goals in mind, really. You don't have anything for your vision board. You just leaf through the magazines, flip through page by page. And if you see anything that hits you, you go, oh, I like this. This makes me happy. Even if you don't know why, this makes me happy. This makes me happy. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, this makes me happy. And you end up with a pile of happy pictures at the end. Then you take all of your happy pictures that you've got, that you've pulled out, and it could be words too. You know, sometimes a magazine will have whole phrases in them, and you lay them out, and then, you know, put them into categories. Most often when you're done, you go, oh, there's a theme here, and you pull out the categories and then lay them down on your big piece of poster board, glue them down, laminate it. Highly recommend laminating your board. Some of the local photocopy shops here in the States do lamination, and it's worth every penny to go to a local shop and laminate your board if you don't have your own laminator, because it just gives it such a polished look. And then, have it up, post it up if you can. And even if you don't post it up, you've told your brain. One of the most interesting results I've seen that's come out of this, because I've been with Susan on tour all over the country doing this method. I would do train your brain, and then she would do the vision board method. And probably one of the most interesting results came from Mary Jane on the team, that you might know her from the customer service in my business. And she did a board. She ended up, when she was done, she had nothing but like flower pictures, all these different flowers. So she ended up with a whole vision board of flowers. And she realized like the theme for her was spa or self-care, ease, peace, flow. And I thought, wow, when you really go for the feel good, your heart will tell you what you need. It was such a great demonstration of Susan's method. So do you like that one? I would love it. If you like that one and you want to try it, please put a comment in the comment section, because I would love to hear what you think of that. Susan passed into non-physical last year, and I just want to do whatever I can to share her legacy, because she always had so many good ideas. Yeah, it's good, right? So then the next one, idea number 8, is set kindness resolutions. So instead of setting a New Year's resolution for your own personal development, maybe set a resolution that you're going to do one act of kindness a week, and have fun over the year picking different acts of kindness that you're doing, and just do one random act of kindness every week and have fun with it. And again, the internet's our friend. You can say, what are some ideas for random acts of kindness, and do one every week. And it's such a nice shift from I need to change, I need to change, I need to change, to I want to give back and bring more kindness in the world. Side note, you can also do this if you so choose for learning or reading or crafting or anything that you want to do in the new year, as far as, a weekly thing rather than a yearly thing. This next one, number 9, I have tried, and it set me up for a really, first of all, I love doing it. And then second of all, it set me up for a really good daily habit. And it is the 1 line a day journal. So think about summing up your day in one line, like one sentence. And sometimes the line, it's like just a bunch of words, which I think is one of the more fun ways to do it. So you might put the name of a friend you saw, something you ate that day that was really good, a webinar you attended, and something funny. And so your one line is maybe only 7 words, but it really sums up your day. First of all, it really gets your brain working when you have to sum up your day in just a few words. And after you do it for a week or two, you start to want to be more creative. You don't want to be saying the same things over and over again. So you try to think of different ways to say things. And the most fun with this one is when you're done, you can read your whole year in 365 lines. And for me, what happened doing this one was that I ended up setting up a habit where I have like, I guess you'd call it kind of a real journal now, where I do more than one line. I don't do that much more. I just do like 280 characters or something like that. But I really, really enjoyed doing this one. Here's one I heard from somebody else, and I'm just going to call it Minimalist Solutions. And I haven't fully thought this one through. And so I'm really hoping I can get your comments on this one to think this one through more. But here's what it came from. I heard somebody say that they had a habit that they instilled, and I forget for how many months they did it, but they said the habit was they put a box out, and every day they would get rid of one thing in their house and they would put it in the box. So the idea was wanting to live, I guess we'll call it minimalist resolution alternative. So wanting to live more minimally. So they just would every day put one thing in the box. So of course, at the end of the day, you've got 30 things in the box. At the end of the year, you got 365 things that you've moved out of your house. So I haven't thought this one through yet, but I kind of like the concept and I like the idea. And so if you want to piggyback on that and share anything, any of your thoughts about the possibility of doing that, or maybe any practices you've had in doing that. I know sometimes in the Buddhist traditions, they have some practices that piggyback with this, but I thought that might be kind of a cool thing to try for a couple of months and see how that pans out. Okay, number 11. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. Oh, we got two more. Let's savor them. By the way, if I haven't said it, I really do appreciate you engaging with me in your comments. I appreciate you sharing the channel and do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's keep playing together and getting fired up and making 2025 the best ever. So, number 11, do a mind map for the new year. These are so fun. And maybe you've done one before, but they're so simple to do. Again, big piece of paper, put 2025 in the center, big circle. And then you can do lines off to each area of your life, or really break up 2025 any way you want to. You could do each month, you could do each area, you could do it based on, your desires. I mean, it makes no difference how you make the mind map. After you do whatever the categories are that you choose and you put out, for me, what's worked really well with mind maps is to try not to make them too wordy. So some of you are creative, you can draw pictures, or you can even cut out pictures and put them on the mind map. I am a word person, so I tend to do words. And I find that if you pick just like one word or two words to represent an idea, or feeling words, like when you see a different area of your life, if you can capture the feelings you'd like to have, when you're done, you end up with a beautiful mind map of your life, and most often of your desired life, because you're putting really those most aligned, most centered feelings on it, right? All right, number 12, drum roll please. Brrr. Number 12. This is my new current favorite idea. That's why I saved it for last. And I haven't done it, but I'm letting it simmer. A gratitude or accomplishment tree. So you look on the internet for a template for a tree trunk and some branches, and you print it out and you cut it out and you put it on your wall. And then you print out a bunch of little pieces of paper that represent leaves. And it's a twist on the jar idea, right? Except it's visual. So every time you have a milestone, every time you have a good memory, every time you have a win, you write it on the leaf and you put that leaf on the tree, and you end up with a whole tree filled with happy memories. And the reason I love this one so much is, first of all, they're not in a jar, so you don't look at them. They're on a tree, so you see them. They're in front of you every day. You really note your progress throughout your year, because you're seeing your tree grow and grow and grow, and more leaves put on it. And I thought, what a great family project. Like, you could have your kids or grandkids be part of it too and put their happy memories. What a great thing to instill in them, this habit of doing it. And finally, Baker's dozen, number 13, if you want, just do normal New Year's resolutions. It's okay. There's no reason you have to do something totally different. You can totally just do New Year's resolutions. And I would like to have you share your favorites, ideas. What was your favorite from what I shared today? What's one that made you go, I think I might try that? Or do you have one that I didn't mention here that you say, oh, you should try this, you'd love this, we don't should, but you know what I mean. You might want to consider trying this one. Put it down in the comments. I would love to hear it. And no matter what you decide for the new year, whether you do traditional resolutions or whether you do other ideas, whether you do something crafty or whether you do something word-based, or whether you do a vision board or make a bucket list or do monthly resolutions, or whatever you decide, know that it's going to benefit you to wrap it all up in a bow with brain training. If you decide to do nothing, you will be just as successful as if you do every idea on this list because we are brain trainers. We wrap everything around brain training and thinking positively. It doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do. It only matters what you think about and talk about you do or don't do. What you think about what you do, what you think about what you don't do. So no matter what, now is the time to start that resolution of thinking the new rant, the new positive thoughts, thinking the thoughts that 2025 is going to be the best year ever. So you can start a little message in the back of your head that sounds like, I love this idea of focusing my brain. I love the idea of being a brain trainer. It feels so good to think thoughts in my head that are proactive and positive. I love that my brain is my best friend and working on my behalf. I love feeding my brain good information and seeing the results I get. It feels so good to say feel good statements and feel the shift in my body. I love feeling good. I love building my business the feel good way. I love living my life the feel good way. And I know that I am going into 25 as a better brain trainer than in 24. And I'm getting better and better and better at this all the time. It feels so good to be living my life this way on the feel good path, watching things light up, thinking the good thoughts, and knowing that they are elevating me to the next fun thing and the next fun thing in my life. It's so good to be a brain trainer and see the results that I'm getting. And I love being on this path and I love playing with this material and I love thinking positive thoughts and I love being emotionally aligned and being better and more aware at my alignment. It feels so good to be a brain trainer and I'm so excited for the new year. I can't wait to see what's on the horizon. And without a doubt, you've totally got this.